Hey YouTube, it's me, Nurse Roxio again, and I'm just kind of stopping by. It seems like every time I get the guts to do something with my hair, then all of a sudden I think about YouTube. Who knows why? Because it's usually like the first day that I get a haircut, or today I got a perm. What? Um, you know, that I think of you guys and I'm like, oh, it's been a long time. I need to say something. Just because I know a lot of people are curious about WGU, especially those of you that are older like myself and have families. And so, yeah, I know it's been a long time. So just kind of catching up and letting you know where I've been. The perm, yeah. I have naturally funky straight hair, and it doesn't it does whatever I do to it, and it holds nice, like a nice curl or whatever, but that's just it. I don't have time to do anything to it. So yeah, I always end up going back to the old faithful perm. I'm a 70s baby and an 80s kid, so yeah, a perm to save the day, so it'll relax, it won't be this curly. Anyway, so yeah, so I've been checked out for a while because school got really intense there for a while. I let's see, I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was in term. I guess I was in term 3 already. Yeah, because it was in the spring, and so I did really well that whole term until the end, and if you haven't taken psych in your nursing program, please don't do what I did. So kind of the backstory with that is that my sisters were coming in town at the end of June, and I kind of panicked, and I was like, I don't want to be dealing with school when my sisters come in town, because my sisters live in LA. And so I panicked, and I was like, come on, it's psych. Black and white, therapeutic communication. Like, I can do this. It's no big deal. So one day I had gotten off of work and I was like, I'm just going to do it. It's 55 questions. How hard could it be? No big deal. So this was like right when the class had opened up. I had already taken the 2 PAs, and I did okay with those. But again, I just had this like wealth of confidence that I had it. So nonetheless, I took it and I failed. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The cut score is like an 850, and I made an 823. Totally deflated, because not because I failed, like I can take a failure, but as in any nursing program, you have limited opportunities to fix that. Like, you can't fail and then keep repeating the class. Like, if any other program, you're in a nursing program, like you have to get it or you get kicked out. And I was so nervous. Long story short, I did the remediation and all the requirements. I took it again. I freaking failed again. I couldn't believe it. I did another remediation. Studied, like, okay, I prayed, I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I seriously was like, really, Roxanne, like, you let psych is winning here, and you're gonna get kicked out of nursing school because of psych? Very, very discouraged, very sad. Gosh, I was like hating my whole life. I was completely stressed out. So this is like in July. I normally don't deal with depression. I did as a youth. But as an adult, I just kind of take things differently. But let me tell you what, I got depressed. I got very, very depressed, because I was like, I'm in my 40s. I don't have time to mess around. I can't afford to be kicked out of a nursing program and then to start over somewhere else, because I wouldn't be able to come back to this program. And any other program in my area, for the most part, is going to be a traditional program or just an ADN program. There's not a lot of BSN opportunities. So I was just so stressed out. Um, Long story short, I studied hard. I had notes pasted throughout my house. Well, not pasted, but taped up on my walls throughout my house. I went on every forum that had questions, every test bank, and I just did test questions. I went crazy, and I was like, I have got to pass this. I cannot be defeated. I mean, if I didn't fail Cassie and have problems with Cassie, care of the older adult, and MedSurg 1 and 2, then I was not gonna get kicked out over psych. So, probably it's been about, so my term ended on July the 31st. That's the day I had to take my final attempt. My new term started August the 1st. So that even stressed me out more because there was no more cushion. There was no more time. It was either I passed and the next day I started term 4, or I flunked, and that was the end of it for me. So I was so super scared, you guys. I don't, like I said, I'm not the type of person to get really stressed out or depressed, or I don't take a lot too seriously or to heart, but this was full on, it was very scary. Anyway, nonetheless, I took it. I prayed that morning. I was like, okay, God, I have to trust it. I have to accept my mistake, because clearly I made a mistake. I jumped the gun, right? So I accepted that. And then not only that, I had to really okay, God, I know you brought me this far for a reason. I know I'm meant to be a nurse. I've always known this for as long as I've been a young adult. I've been in healthcare all my life. This has to be my path. I've been an LVN for 16 years. How could this not be part of the plan? I said, okay, I'm going to trust you, Lord. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take this exam. If I pass, I'm moving on, and I'm going to dust my knees off, and I know you got me. If I don't pass, then you know what, God, I know you have something better for me. That's the piece that I had to grasp onto. That's what I had to just accept. That if I did not pass, okay, then God has something better for me. I don't know what it is, because I don't think I'm better at anything else than being a nurse, but okay. So I sat down at my desk. I had the ultimate peace. I prayed, and I just had such a peace, you guys. I took my time. I wrote out we can use a whiteboard. So I took my time with every question. If I needed my whiteboard, I wrote down the question and broke it down and all that, right? Yo, girl passed. The cut score's an 850. I made a 9, I don't know, 9 something. I don't care. I passed. I was down to make an 851. You feel me? I just needed to pass. And so I did. So on August the 1st, thank God, I was able to go into my new term and started OB. So that's where I'm at. I have already done 1 clinical shift for OB. I only have 2 more to go. Excuse that. You'll hear my Sanchito out there. Sancho is my Roomba vacuum cleaner. Look, I'm a full-time employee and a full-time student. I don't have time to sweep. So that I call him Sanchito. If you have a Roomba, you know what I mean. He comes in quick, right? Woo! Anyways, so yeah. OB. As a mother of 3 kids, I would think that I kind of have a grasp and know a lot about OB, but you know what? I don't. And so I'm learning. And so I'm scheduled to take my, we call them OAs, which is our final, next week on the 12th. So yeah, I'm going to dig in as I have been. But as of today, I'm really going to just kill it on the practice questions. I'm just going in and just going to do practice questions, because I've really studied a lot on it. And I've done a lot of practice questions, and I just, you get to the point where you're like, okay, I feel like I know the material. now I got to figure out how to apply it. And to me, the application comes with practicing, questions. And so that's kind of what my mission has been the last couple days. And that's what it will be until next Thursday. And if I get to next Thursday and I'm still like, you know what, I need a couple more days, then you know what? Yo, girl, I'm taking a couple more days and I'm not going to feel bad about it because I don't want to get in the same bind. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Like I said, July was just a wake-up call, and it was a reminder that I am not in control and that I am fully responsible for my future, and I've got to do better, and I've got to take every moment of this program seriously. It is so pleasant and so nice to say when people say, how much longer do you have? And I can say less than a year, because I will be completely done with my bachelor's program in July next summer, 2020. So that is so rewarding to be able to say that. And so I am just completely motivated. I know a lot of people, from what I have read on our group, our pre-licensure group, that a lot of people are kind of catching that lull, that senioritis kind of a thing in term 5. Where they're just they can't get started. And so I'm really, really, really hoping that, my term 5 doesn't start until January, after the holidays, after the hustle and bustle. And, with the new year, all things are new. And like anybody else, people are all pumped up for change and motivated and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that I'll catch that vibe, and that when the new year comes, that I will just hit the ground running and knock out that term 5 and get on with the rest of my life. So one thing that I did want to mention, I know this video has kind of been a little long, but I did want to say, I'm just curious about, if you're in a nursing program, what is it that you're wanting to do after school? Like, do you have your heart set on a specialty or an area? What is it that you want to do? Is it different than what you initially, started out wanting to do? Like, has your passion changed? Have your interests changed? I'll share in another video maybe later on down the line about my past. But for me, what I'm finding is I've explored a lot of, or I've thought, not necessarily explored, but I thought about a lot of specialties. OR, going back to the ED, because I did the ED as an LVN, but I really want to take advantage of a residency program. And there's an area that has definitely always had a place in my heart because of my experience with my first son, and that is the NICU. And I've tried to get away from it, thinking, I'm too old, or I don't have what it takes, or I'm not smart enough, or whatever. Or do I really want that kind of stress in my life? Like I've thought all those things. But you know what? I really feel like that's where God's preparing me for. At least that's what's in my heart right now. A year and a half from now, I may not feel that way. I do feel like I want to go into some degree of critical care initially, until maybe like for the next few years, maybe 3 or 4 years. And then just kind of like, find a less stressed position and just kind of like live out my retirement, right? Because by then I'll be like 45, 46, and I don't want to kill myself in this career. Like I said, I've been an LVN for a long time. I have plantar fasciitis, chronic back. I already know what I'm getting myself into, and so I just know that I want to kind of get into that critical care, get that experience, cush my resume, and learn as much as I can, and then maybe end up in a PACU or an ambulatory OR or an ambulatory ED, or I don't know. I just kind of want to be able to go in and get out and live my life. I've been a mother since I've been 16, and I've been a student since like 2001, and I'm done, a college student since 2001. So I just kind of want to get to this place where I can just enjoy my life, enjoy my kids. I have grandkids now, and so I just want to just chill And so, yeah, share with me anything that you're going through, thinking, questions, anything. Like I've said before, I didn't start this to be to continue to make videos. I just kind of really have this itch to share and educate. And so, yeah, that's kind of what keeps me coming back. So thank you for your comments as always. Let's do this. Let's get this done together. So have a blessed day. God bless your journey. Amen.